on TNA Impact this week, we had the continuation of the Fortune angle. Now, Ric Flair has decided that he's going to reform the Four Horsemen. It's been done many times before. We've seen the likes of Evolution and various different guises of the Four Horsemen. But Beer Money, AJ Styles, Desmond Wolfe, and indeed, who else?
Kazarian.
Why did I forget him? I mean, maybe it's because he sort of falls into the back. Now, Desmond Wolfe was accused of being the Lex Luger. I have to say, as good as a worker I think Kazarian is, to me, he's the Lex.
I think he's the Lex too, big time the Lex Express, the narcissist. You can see it in his eyes. Yeah, Wolfe is. I mean, it's the obvious. It would be the obvious choice for me to have Wolfe, Beer Money, and AJ. Perfect. It's perfect. Now, the other side of it, what do they call the fucking thing again? The
Fortune.
I mean, that's just... It's too close to legacy territory, isn't it, when you think about it? And not only that, but it just sounds awful. Why can't they use it as a Four Horsemen under copyright to Vince? Or?
Well, that's a good question, because it sounds like something they wouldn't be able to copyright, but probably it is, yeah.
Well, maybe that might explain why Evolution was called Evolution. But then again, if you did own the... Well...
I just thought about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They couldn't own it, really, could they?
That's very true. But still, if he's referencing it, they should just use the fucking name.
It's very true, because they are extremely pedantic about these things. If you, as much as form up your gimmick in another territory that isn't theirs, they will send you a letter, I think, most likely. So I think whether or not they own the term Four Horsemen or not, I think it's a valid point, because they probably will try and come and get you if you do something like that. Was it something else that actually did become a problem this week? And I can't remember, but yeah, there's something familiar about that. But there were other trademark stories that went on this week. It was at Showtime Percy Watson. He trademarked his name. Something else. Somebody wasn't allowed to use the name somewhere. But anyway, we'll think about that again. But Fortune are going to be on TV now. And Desmond Wolfe kind of getting put on the sidelines. But that's got to be just a swerve to get him back in there.
Yeah, I think he has to prove himself with... is it Lethal? Was that the Impact? That's right. And if he's okay. Now, that was funny, I have to say. And I mean, we kind of seen it over the weeks, and yeah, got a bit sick of it, but it was very, very funny. I did laugh out loud. I lolled for that one big time.
Yeah, Jay Lethal is looking more serious now, and I actually did find it very funny as well. He cut the Ric Flair promo back to Rick, and you could just see the smile on Flair's face. He knew that this was good stuff, and indeed it was. And of course Hogan as well, giving Lethal some advice backstage. But I suppose these guys, yeah, it is a work, isn't it?
Hogan's a work. He's about as legit now as a kick in the arse, yeah.
Absolutely, it was such scripted stuff. Nice to see in one sense, but yeah, it does give you an eye on probably what goes back, stage, the sort of thing that happens where Hogan probably goes around to the young guys saying, yeah, you're great, think you're great and everything, and who knows then what happens in the Booker's meetings when it all comes down to it. But yeah, Fortune, they're going to be a strong stable. Well, I mean, I would have certainly picked Beer Money for this role. I don't know if I'd have put Wolfe in there, but he's there. Kazarian, maybe not either, but yeah, AJ Styles as well. But thinking about guys who maybe aren't in there now and could be, I think it was probably a missed opportunity not to put Matt Morgan in there.
Maybe, yeah. I think if Anderson was heel, he would have been good. And I think Joe seems to have a lot of momentum, but it's kind of on a bit of a bumpy road, isn't it? But those two would have been, one of those two would have been my pick if it wasn't the other guys. I don't know if Kaz, I don't think Kaz is a good choice for them. He's good, but he's not for the Fortune thing, definitely. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it excites me in the sense that maybe they're going to have a bit of chop and change here. Maybe the guys we've seen out there are going to be taken out of that mix and they're just there to keep the storyline moving. Maybe there's some kind of shocking return planned, but surprises and Slammiversary.
I stayed up to watch Slammiversary last week. Dixie, fucking hell. With you and your surprises, I mean, you're taking the piss at this stage. Every time, surprise, there's going to be the big announcement. I was exhausted. I stayed up, watched the whole fucking thing, and it was shit. Well, the Angle match was good. That was the only one I think that was anyway good. But Christ, Tommy Dreamer, I mean, you know, fucking hell, like, hooray, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. I flicked through it. I really couldn't stay watching it when I knew how basically everybody got gypped at the end, looking for that big surprise. And I think a lot of people disappointed in that. Why couldn't the surprise have been Lex Luger was going to join Fortune?
How is Lex these days? I haven't seen him in quite some time.
Apparently he's working, in the sense that he is doing appearances and he is like being rumoured to be TNA bound. It's been said before, but yeah, apparently a couple of pay-per-views ago he was rumoured, but I don't know, I mean, maybe it's not true. Maybe Lex is still sort of ill and can't compete, but yeah, I mean, look, we've had everybody there now. We've had Scott Halls and Kevin Nash's, and maybe he wouldn't do so badly.